Observing Myself as a Critical Reader in English 201 by Erin O'Brien. Reader response. Sometimes when you read short stories, you just go through the motions of reading without realizing you're not absorbing any of the information. Reader response forces you to think beyond the words written. This is clearly shown on the right. I applied reader response to the short story Arabe by James Joyce in order to help me pull apart the text. This helped me realize many things. It helped me realize what the operation really was, as well as forcing me to propose questions, such as, is the baby she's having his, and why does he want this operation so bad? Reading strategies. My two favorite reading strategies we learned this year are the reread method and critical analysis chart. One time this year that the reread method helped me was when I read Everyday Use by Alice Walker. My first time reading Everyday Use, I didn't understand it well. I didn't understand why Maggie was so concerned what Dee thought of her. While rereading it, I realized Dee was the so-called more successful family member, and after realizing this, it explained a lot. The critical analysis chart has helped me a lot this semester. One time in specific was while reading Two Kinds by Amy Tan. I personally didn't like the story, and when I don't enjoy a story, I don't observe the information. If I am forced to complete a critical analysis chart, it helps me form an opinion, propose questions, which I couldn't have done with Two Kinds without a critical analysis chart. Digital tools. My favorite digital tool used this semester was the journal entry. As you can see on the right, I used it for the short story, The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien. I personally like the journal method because oftentimes I'm nervous to voice my opinion in class, but the journal entry allows me to outside of the classroom. Not only can I voice my opinion, but I get a little feedback from Professor Hume. If you read my response to the right, it comes to show I like voicing my opinion without talking to the class. I like to show my opinion on my own for only me to see. Challenges I faced throughout the semester. I was often challenged while using the critical analysis chart. Although it was one of my favorite reading methods, I was often challenged while using it. I was never forced to read as deep into stories as I am expected to now. One specific time I was challenged was applying the critical analysis chart to the cast of Amontillado by Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe's stories are unlike many others we've read. I feel as though there wasn't an underlying message or a deeper meaning behind the words written. This made it hard for me to pull apart the text and complete the critical analysis chart. Connections I made throughout the semester. One connection I made this semester was between the art of thinking and experiencing literature. Many activities in both classes required deeper thinking and critical thinking. For example, in Art of Thinking, we played a card game called Love Letter, which required critical thinking and for you to think outside of the box. Many of the activities assigned in experiencing literature also require critical thinking. This made the classes very similar because they taught me to think deeper than the surface. My aha moment. This semester my aha moment was our Tuesday free read. This was my aha moment not only because it gave me a break in between classes, but it made me realize something I didn't know. Prior to Free Read Tuesday, I never read very much. After rereading my free read book, it became my favorite book and taught me something. I never liked to read, but after reading Room by Emma Donoghue, it taught me that you need to find a good book that you like, and once you do, you realize how much you enjoy reading. Ever since my Free Read Tuesday, I read every night in order to de-stress. Without Free Read Tuesday, I wouldn't have realized my enjoyment for reading.